Deepin might be the best looking Linux distro you've ever seen. Glossy, animated, and frankly, gorgeous. But looks aren't the whole story. Today I'll explain why, despite its beauty, I don't run Deepin on my machines, and why some major projects have stopped trusting it. I'll also show safer alternatives if you just want that Deepin polish without the risk. Brief overview of what Deepin is. Deepin is a Linux distribution built around its own Deepin Desktop Environment, often shortened to DDE. The interface is intentionally polished, translucency, smooth transitions, and a centralized dock by default. It's designed to feel modern, refined, and approachable for users coming from Windows or Mac OS. Praise: what it gets right. Credit where it's due, Deepin nails design. Its default layout, theme tools, and curated app store make for a cohesive, designer-grade experience right out of the box. If you judge a distro purely on aesthetics, Deepin sits near the top. Transition to concerns. But when we evaluate an operating system, especially one we trust with our files and privacy, security and transparency are non-negotiable. That's where Deepin raises real questions. openSUSE decision and packaging bypass. In May 2025, the openSUSE project removed the Deepin desktop packages from their repositories. The maintainers found a packaging policy violation, a packaging workaround introduced in 2021 that effectively bypassed the normal security review process for some components. Because of a long history of problematic reviews and that bypass, openSUSE made the call to remove DDE from their distro repositories until those issues are resolved. That's a big red flag coming from a respected distribution with strict packaging policies. ArchWiki and community warnings. Community resources that many Linux users rely on, including the Arch Linux Wiki and numerous distro forums, also call out security concerns and warn users to exercise caution when using DDE. These are not small fringe complaints. They're documented warnings from community maintainers. Telemetry/CNZZ issue. Back in 2018, researchers and users noticed the Deepin App Store sending telemetry to CNZZ, a Chinese analytics provider. The Deepin team later announced they removed or altered that telemetry and argued it was anonymous usage data. Still, many users were uncomfortable, and rightly so, because OS-level telemetry that phones home without clear, explicit user consent undermines the privacy expectations of many Linux users. Deepin's public response helped, but the incident still left a trust gap. What these issues mean for you. So, what does this actually mean for someone who just wants a nice desktop? 3 things. 1. Risk of unreviewed or hard-to-audit components. If packaging bypasses review, you can't be sure what's being installed. 2. Telemetry concerns. Unexpected network calls from the OS or App Store are a privacy sore point. 3. Maintenance and responsiveness. Long review cycles or slow security fixes increase exposure to vulnerabilities. Counterpoints, nuance. To be fair, Deepin is open source and many parts of the code are public. That means independent inspection is possible in principle. But auditing an entire desktop stack is a lot of work and unrealistic for most users. Open source doesn't automatically equal safe. It just makes review possible if people do it. Practical advice: keep the look, avoid the risk. If you love Deepin's look, you don't have to choose between aesthetics and security. 2 practical approaches. Use a KDE Plasma distro and apply themes, global menu, transparency, and a centered dock to mimic DDE's polish. Plasma offers granular control and large theme ecosystems. Or install DDE only in a controlled environment, a VM, for testing, not your daily driver, until you're comfortable with the packaging and provenance. Tools to monitor and block telemetry. To protect yourself, use a network monitoring or application firewall. A reputable open-source option is Portmaster by Safing. It gives per-app network visibility and blocking, DNS controls, and useful defaults to stop suspicious telemetry. It's not a silver bullet, but it helps you see and control outbound connections. Closing. Risk versus reward. Bottom line. Deepin is strikingly beautiful, and DDE shows what a desktop can be when designers and developers focus on polish. But beauty doesn't excuse questionable packaging practices or unexplained telemetry. Until the maintainers show consistent security discipline and transparency, I'll stick to distros and desktop stacks with stronger reviewer signals. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for daily videos. Bye!